Hello, thank you for joining the channel today. This is the second video on the 2025 Jamb Use of English Past Questions and Answers. If you are new on this channel, kindly remember to subscribe to the channel, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for always being here. Let the lesson begin. The first question says, for this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. Nearest in meaning. This one is based on synonyms. The scientist made an astonishing discovery in the laboratory. The scientist made an astonishing discovery in the laboratory. A. Ordinary. B. Expected. C. Amazing. D. Common. Now, we are looking for the option that is nearest in meaning to astonishing. Astonishing is in italics. Astonishing means surprising, but there is no surprising option. There is a word that has the same meaning as surprising, and that is option C, amazing. Amazing. When we are answering question on synonyms, that is nearest in meaning, or antonyms, which is opposite in meaning, there are different ways to approach this kind of questions. One of the ways is using elimination method. If we look at all of these options very well, ordinary, expected, common, they have almost the same, or let me say close meanings. When something is ordinary, it's something that is common, like an everyday thing. Of course, something that is common is expected. It is not something unusual or strange. So option A, B, and D, they all have almost the same meaning. The only one that is different is option C, amazing, and that is our correct option. The scientist made an amazing discovery in the laboratory. To the second question, he presented a masterpiece at the conference. Dash. He presented a masterpiece at the conference. Dash. A. Did he? B. Wasn't he? C. Didn't he? D. Was he? This question is based on question tag. Now let's look at the sentence. The sentence determines what would be our correct option. Let's come to the sentence once again. He presented a masterpiece at the conference. Let's look at the subject and the verb of this sentence. He is the subject. The verb is presented. These two determines our correct tag. Now, he is a pronoun, male pronoun. Let's leave that. Presented is in the past tense. Like all other action verbs, when we are trying to find the tag, we change the action verb to do. If the action verb is then in past tense, we also change our do to past tense, which is did. But then we have to look the sentence again. If the sentence is in the positive form, the affirmative form, we have to change it to negative. If the sentence is in negative, we have to change it to positive. Like in this case, he presented a masterpiece at the conference. It is a positive statement. We then have to change it to the negative. Do not forget, we have changed the verb presented to did. So let's make did negative. It becomes didn't. Then let's now put it in question form. Didn't. The subject is he. So we say, didn't he? Option C. Didn't he? He presented a masterpiece at the conference. Didn't he? Let's proceed to the next question. For this question, choose the option opposite in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. So in this case, we are looking for the antonym of the word in italics. The question says, the scientist conducted a meticulous experiment. The scientist conducted a meticulous experiment. Meticulous is in italics. A. Detailed. B. Careless. C. Careful. D. Thorough. The word meticulous means paying careful attention to details. Let's see the options that we have. Option A, detailed. That's not the opposite to meticulous. Careless. Well, let's put that aside. C says careful. D says thorough. If you look at all these options very well, detailed, careful, and thorough, they are related in meaning. Careless is the only odd one. Careless is the only black sheep in this option. It is totally different from the rest, and that is our correct option. The opposite of meticulous is careless. The next question. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. This one is based on synonyms. Nearest in meaning. The debater made a very scurrilous remark about his opponent. The debater made a very scurrilous remark about his opponent. A. Sharp. B. Fake. C. Abusive. D. False. Scurrilous means insulting or abusive. From the meaning of scurrilous, we already know that option C is the correct option. The debater made a very abusive remark about his opponent. Okay, to the next question. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. Still on synonyms. The building was haunted by a couple of spooks. Spooks is in italics. The building was haunted by a couple of spooks. A. Hunters. B. Ghosts. C. Robbers. D. Hyenas. We can approach this question by using context clues. Look at the word, look at the verb haunted. The building was haunted. This particular word shows that it is a spirit, not hunters, not robbers, not hyenas, but spirits that is disturbing the whole of the building. The word haunted shows this. The synonym for spooks is ghosts. The building was haunted by a couple of ghosts. Option B. The following question has this instruction. For this question, choose the option opposite in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. In this case, we are treating the opposite in meaning, the antonyms. We must always remember our instructions so that we won't make costly mistakes. The question says, Musa vehemently opposed his son's political ambition. Musa vehemently opposed his son's political ambition. Vehemently is in italics. A. Coldly. B. Strongly. C. Carelessly. D. Emphatically. The word vehemently means strongly or passionately. When you do something with the whole of your passion, you say you do it vehemently. Now, the one that is opposite in meaning to strongly or passionately, let's see again. Coldly, strongly. In fact, strongly is synonym, so strongly is wrong. Let's eliminate strongly. Carelessly, well, emphatically, these two options are also wrong. The correct option is coldly. When you do something coldly, you do it without emotion. You do it without interest. So that is the correct option. Musa coldly opposed his son's political ambition. Option A. Let's go to the next question. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. So here we are looking for the option that is nearest. Pernicious act. Gambling. Gambling is a pernicious act. A. Harmless. B. Benign. C. Noxious. D. Beneficial. Gambling is a pernicious act. The word pernicious, what will it mean, even if we do not know the meaning? But from the context, gambling cannot be a good act. So we know that the word pernicious must have a bad meaning. Actually, the word pernicious means something that causes harm, harmful. A. Harmless. That is opposite in meaning. So it is wrong. Because our instruction says we should look for the one that is nearest in meaning. A is opposite in meaning. So let's eliminate option A. That is why you must always remember your instruction. If your instruction says nearest in meaning, there will be answers to opposite in meaning. So it means if you mistaken the instruction for opposite in meaning, you are going to fall into the pit of choosing the wrong option. A. Harmless is wrong. B. Benign. C. Noxious. D. Beneficial. Beneficial is also wrong. When something is benign, it is gentle, soft, not harmful. So you can see that even benign is opposite in meaning. Looking at all the options, harmless, benign. So we are left with noxious. Noxious. Noxious means harmful. All the options except option C have positive meaning. Harmless, benign, beneficial, all have positive meaning. It's only noxious that has the negative meaning. Noxious actually means harmful. That is our correct option. The next question is also based on nearest in meaning. Choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. Parenting is really arduous even though enjoyable. Parenting is really arduous even though enjoyable. A. Severe. B. Strenuous. C. Hectic. D. Troublesome. Arduous means difficult and tiring. Let's see our options again. Severe, strenuous, hectic. Hectic is very close, but then hectic does not mean tiring or difficult. Hectic means involving a lot of activities. Hectic is close but not correct. The correct option is option B, strenuous. Strenuous also means difficult or tiring. So the correct option is option B, strenuous. Still on nearest in meaning. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. Between Achebe and Soyinka, it is debatable who is more enigmatic a writer. Between Achebe and Soyinka, it is debatable who is more enigmatic a writer. Enigmatic is in italics. A. Talented. B. Inscrutable. C. Ludicrous. D. Flamboyant. Enigmatic means mysterious or difficult to understand. So when something or someone is difficult to study or to investigate, we say the person is enigmatic. Now, talented, no. Inscrutable, that is our correct option. Inscrutable means unable to be scrutinized. Someone or something you cannot scrutinize because it is difficult to study. That is the one that is nearest in meaning. Inscrutable, option B. To the next question. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. Giwa does odious things at times. Giwa does odious things at times. Odious is in italics. A. Pleasant. B. Horrible. C. Great. D. Strange. Odious means hateful or unpleasant. Something that is unpleasant or causing hatred. That means option A and C, pleasant and great, are wrong options. This is because they have the exact opposite meanings. Let's eliminate them. We are left with horrible and strange. So from the meaning that we have found for odious, causing hatred or unpleasant, it means option B is our correct option. Horrible. So we move to the next question. For this question, choose the option opposite in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. Opposite in meaning. The natives were allowed to stay. The natives were allowed to stay. Natives is in italics. A. Visitors. B. Indigenes. C. Foreigners. D. Immigrant. The word native are the people of a particular place. So option B, indigenes, is wrong because it has the same meaning. Option B, let's eliminate option B. We are left with option A, C, and D, which are actually very close in meaning. Let's begin with option A, visitors. Visitors are like guests. When you say someone is a visitor in another country, that means the person is just coming to visit and the person will leave very soon. So visitor is staying temporarily. It is not the visitors. Let's look at foreigners. Foreigners are people that live in a particular country where they are not really indigene or native of. While the last option, option D, immigrants. Immigrants are actually people that emigrated for their own country to stay in another country. But most immigrants never become residents. Most immigrants never become what? Residents. Those who actually become residents, they are the foreigners, and that is option C. That is actually our correct option. foreigners. The next question says, scarcely dash she entered the room when the phone rang. Scarcely dash she entered the room when the phone rang. A. Does. B. Had. C. Did. D. Has. Whenever you come across a sentence that begins with scarcely, hardly, or no sooner, then the past perfect tense is going to be used. And what's the past perfect tense option here? Had. Had, and the verb is used to express past perfect tense. So in this case, had she entered, it is in past perfect form. So scarcely had she entered the room when the phone rang. Another way I want us to look at this sentence is the fact that she had entered the room before the phone rang. In this case, in English, whenever we have two actions, one occurring before the other, the first one to occur will be expressed in the past perfect tense. It does not matter whether it occurred 2 minutes before the last one occurred. It does not matter whether it occurred just 1 second before the last one occurred. In as much as it occurred before the second one, then the past perfect tense is going to be used. She had entered the room before the phone rang. Look at it, had entered. That means had is still our correct option. Scarcely had she entered the room when the phone rang. We move to the next question. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. On synonyms, when the landlady noticed the silhouette on the wall, she called up her son. When the landlady noticed the silhouette on the wall, she called up a son. Silhouette is in italics. A. Suit. B. Outline. C. Ghost. D. Speck. A silhouette is a shadow, or let me say a black outline of something. So when we say silhouette, actually we are talking about outline. Option B. For this question, choose the option nearest in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. It is still on synonyms. The students were reluctant to participate in the debate. The students were reluctant to participate in the debate. Reluctant is in italics. A. Eager. B. Unwilling. C. Excited. D. Happy. Look at these options very well. 3 of the options have close meanings. Eager, excited, happy have related meanings. So it means the one that does not have the related meaning as the remaining 3 is the correct option. And that is unwilling. The students were unwilling to participate in the debate. Option B. So the next question is going to be the last for this video. It is choose the option opposite in meaning to the word or phrase in italics. So we are looking for the antonym. In the past, anyone who angered the god would be killed. In the past, anyone who angered the gods will be killed. Angered is in italics. So we are looking for the opposite of angered. A. Settled. B. Appeased. C. Begged. D. Pleased. The gods, once they are angered, the only thing that can pacify them is to appease to them. So the opposite in meaning is appeased. Anyways, settled, begged, and pleased all look related, even with our correct option. And pleased, option D, in fact, looked very plausible. But then our gods are meant to be pleased. If we do not anger them, naturally we live to please whatever God we serve. But when they are angered, then we have to appease to them in order to please them. I do not know if you understand my explanation. Appeased is the direct opposite of angered. So option B is still the correct option. Anyone who angered the gods will be killed. Anyone who appeased the god, let's say, would not be killed. So on this note, we end this video. Do well to subscribe to the channel. Drop a nice comment. Recommend this video and other videos on this channel to your friends, to your classmates. Thank you for always being here. See you some another time. Bye-bye.